What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Generation Works YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be removing the rust from the frame and repainting the frame on my 2002 GMC 2500 Duramax. And if you haven't watched the video of me picking it up and cleaning it, go check that out. I posted it, I think, a couple weeks ago, but I'll link that up above. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here that I'm going to be fixing. As you can see, there's some surface rust starting to appear on the frame here. It's not too bad on the outside, and then as you can see, as we get in here a little bit more, there's some scaling starting to come, and once it starts scaling, it starts getting really bad from there. The only hole that I've found so far is right here. I've been working on this for a little bit now. I'm using a hammer to knock the big scales off, and then I'll use a wire wheel grinder to remove the rest of the rust and get it as much rust as you can get off of it as you can. I'll show you what I'm using over here on the workbench. So I bought this chassis saver stuff. This is supposed to be some of the best stuff you can buy, and you can paint directly over rust, but it says it wants you to remove as much as you can. It likes to have a little bit of rust because that's what it bonds to, but it completely hardens the rust, stops the rust from getting worse than it already is. But this stuff ran me about $93, so you're definitely proud of it, and when you pay that much for something, you know it's got to be good. And then I'll be using these kind of brushes to apply it. And then here's the grinder wire wheel I was talking about. You can pick these up at Harbor Freight. They're super awesome, and they'll knock about anything off you want them to. Here's a stiffer one. I probably won't be using that because that'll take metal off, which I don't really want to do. But all in all, I'm hoping to do I'll do the back here, this back half, and then once I do that, I'll lift the front up so I can get under the truck and let's see if the lighting will, there you go, do up in here, get rid of all that, and then get along the frame rails here, and then the cross member for the transmission, stuff like that. Simple stuff, but stuff that needs to be taken care of. You can see all the rust I've knocked off so far, and that's just with a hammer. There's piles of rust, but I live in Indiana, so I picked this truck up from Ohio, so really it's not that bad, but it needs to be addressed before it gets really bad. I was gonna drop the fuel tank off, drop it down so I can get up under these right here, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that anymore, just because it's a pain in the butt, and just we'll see what happens, I guess. Also, I want to show you something I picked up. I picked up a 165 AirDog 4G2, AirDog 2 4G, whatever you call it. But be on the lookout for a video on that, because since I have the bed removed, it would be so much easier to get to these fuel lines to do that. That's part of the reason I took the bed off, along with coating the frame. But if you want to know how to take the bed off, it's super simple. It's a bolt here, bolt here, bolt here, bolt here. It's the same thing on the other side. And then there's two clips. I already removed them, but there's two clips for the brake lights that come off, and that's all there is to it. And then just get a buddy or two to help you lift it off. That's what I did. But I got as you can see, I got the wiring already all taken off. Let's see, what else did I remove? I removed some of the clips and rubber things for the bed that sits on, so I can get up under that. But we're gonna do a bunch of time lapses here, and I'm gonna see how this turns out. Hopefully it should look amazing. I've watched a bunch of people on YouTube already do this, but thought I gotta bring you guys along, show you how I'm doing it, and make this thing look new again. So a little update here. After a few days, it actually took me about 3 days chipping at this, grinding at the frame, hammering on it. But here's the progress so far. Oh, that's zoomed in. Hold on. There you go. So that's the progress. That's what it looks like. It looks a lot better. Wish you could just leave it like that and not have to worry about it, but it would get right back to where it was if I did. But it's all smooth. You're trying to get off as much of the scales off as you can. I don't know if you can see, but over here, that's one of the spots that I couldn't quite get all the scaling, but I grinded it down as much as I could. But I think I did a pretty good job. This was all scaled up. Basically, I just took a hammer and a punch. If the hammer didn't work, I just took a punch and hammered with the punch, and then the scales would come off. There was a hole there and a hole over here. Those were really the only bad spots. And then up here by the gas tank's pretty bad. Where that dirt sits, just kind of rotted it out, but I ain't too worried about that. It's still nice and strong, but still gives it that support it needs. It's not a huge deal. But after that, once you've done all that, actually I also did this. I didn't film this, but I grinded all of that because I want to do all the way up to like there. And then stop, and then I'll do the rest on my own time. But for the sake of getting this done for you guys and get a video out, I'm just stopping there. But then once you do that, you're gonna want to wipe everything down with this. This is the stuff they recommend to get all the dust off and debris and grease before you coat it with this. And then we're using these brushes. I think my mom's gonna help me, so we can do it a little bit faster. You put a couple coats on, and that's all there is to it. So I'll be back with you after the time lapse. guys, and welcome back from those time lapses. I hope you enjoyed watching me fix up this frame and make it look all new again. I'll show you the results here. It's pretty good. I'm really happy with it. There's the frame rails. Let's see. And we come up here. It's all fresh, shiny black. It's still wet right now, so I just put the second coat on. It says to put 2 to 4 coats if you're brushing, so I just put 2 because I think that's more than enough, to be honest. They're 2 thick coats, so. And then ignore that rust right there, but it looks good. I gotta put the parking brake cable things back, and then the wiring harness runs along there. I took it out so I didn't get paint on it. I put it on the other side of the frame, so I'll have to put that back as well. And then the fuel tank will have to go back in. Fuel tank's really easy to take out. There's a bolt right there, and then there's one under this that you can get to from below, and then there's one clip, and that's all there is to it. But another thing, so I wiped it down with this. I don't know if I told you that or not, but they recommend using this S8 reducer. And then when you store the chassis saver that you don't use, because I only use about half a gallon just on the back half of that frame, so you got to put a little layer of this. They say put a little layer of this when you're storing it. That make sure no air gets under there and keeps it all fresh. But thank you guys for watching. Be on the lookout for the air dog install on this truck, and then straight pipe coming soon, I think, so be on the lookout for that. But other than that, thank you guys for watching Generation Works, and I'll see you next time. Peace.